Hey guys, it's Saga from TechWorks, and in this video, I will put the dual cameras on the iPhone XS Max against a single camera on the Pixel 3. These are two of the best smartphones in the market right now, so this is going to be a very interesting comparison. Both phones have a similar primary camera with a 12 megapixel sensor, wide f1.8 aperture, individual pixel size of 1.4 micron, and optical image stabilization. iPhone comes with another 12 megapixel camera with a 2x telephoto lens, f2.4 aperture, and optical image stabilization. At the front, iPhone XS Max comes with a 7 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture, while the Pixel 3 comes with a dual camera setup at the front. Main camera has an 8 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture and a 28mm wide lens. The secondary camera again has an 8 megapixel sensor, but this one has f2.2 aperture and an ultra-wide 19mm lens. Before we go any further, let's take a moment to know about today's sponsor, Skillshare. It's an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, technology, photography, and much more. Their premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their fields, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Right now, I'm in the middle of learning video editing in Premiere Pro and fundamentals of photo editing. These are just a few examples, and they literally have thousands of other classes in various categories. Skillshare is also more affordable than most of the learning platforms out there, where an annual subscription is less than $10 a month. And better yet, the first 500 people to sign up from my link in the description section will get 2 months of Skillshare Premium for free. To know more about this and Skillshare, click on the link in the description section. Alright, now let's get to the image and video samples from both these phones. All these images have been captured with the HDR Plus enhanced mode on the Pixel 3 and Smart HDR on the iPhone XS Max turned on. All images from both these phones are excellent to look at. It is no secret that both these phones capture a lot of details. Almost all the images from the iPhone are brighter since it is exposing for capturing more details from the shadows, whereas there is more contrast in the images from the Pixel 3 and that makes them look a bit darker in comparison. Some people like contrasty images from the Pixel 3 while others might prefer the flat images from the iPhone XS Max, and that is completely normal. There is a slight magenta hue in some of the images from the Pixel 3. iPhone captures and shows a bit warmer colors, while the Pixel 3 tends towards showing cooler colors. But other than that, both are capturing excellent images no matter how the lighting conditions are. Here are a few examples where you can see the dynamic range that both these phones offer. HDR mode on the Pixel phones have been best for a while when it comes to capturing these shots, but the Smart HDR feature on these new iPhones is also looking very promising. Again, images from Pixel 3 have much more contrast, while the ones from the iPhone are very flat. But it also means iPhone is holding much more details in the shadows, which you can see as we zoom in on some of these images. It might not be a big deal for many, and if you like to use your images straight out of the camera, then you might prefer the ones from the Pixel 3. But if you're interested in editing your images before you post them to your social media accounts, then you know how important these details in the shadows really are. Now the iPhone has a 2x telephoto lens, so it will let you take 2x optically zoomed images like this. Since these are taken with a dedicated 12 megapixel camera with a telephoto lens, there are plenty of details in these shots. Pixel 3 comes with a single camera, but Google works its computational photography magic, and it also lets you take super res zoomed images like these. These images are digitally zoomed, so they are not as sharp as the images from the secondary camera of the iPhone. From the first look, you might not even notice a big difference, but as you move your eyes over the image, you can see that the zoomed images from iPhone hold a lot more details. Coming to the close-up shots, both again do a very good job. The subject is in perfect sharp focus, and thanks to a wide f1.8 aperture on both, the background is blurred out very nicely. Now both of them are very fast at switching the focus from far to near objects, but in certain situations like these, where the subject that you are trying to focus on is a bit dark compared to the background, Pixel 3 takes a bit longer to set the focus right. Portrait shots from both these phones are just amazing. I know I am saying this for all the categories, but remember, these are best of the best smartphone cameras in the industry, and there are not a lot of things that they get wrong. Pixel 3 uses single lens and a lot of software assistance to simulate portrait shots, while the iPhone XS Max uses depth information from its secondary camera. Both might miss certain parts of the hair on occasion in some of these shots, but overall, portrait shots from both these phones look excellent. You can change the amount of blur in the background after you have clicked the image on the Pixel 3, while on the iPhone XS Max, you can do that after or even while you are taking these portrait shots, and see the changes take effect in real time on the viewfinder. On the Pixel 3, you cannot see how the portrait shot is going to turn out until after you have clicked the image. And even then, it takes a second or two to apply this effect. Portrait mode images from the Pixel 3 in lower light are better than the ones from the iPhone XS Max, since the iPhone uses secondary lens with narrower aperture, which results in more noise in its portrait shots. Both are again very good at taking portrait mode images of objects. Images from the iPhone are again brighter in all these conditions, and it also shows more natural looking colors compared to the Pixel 3. Both are not perfect while detecting the edges, and they can definitely use some refinements via software updates. Now as the light goes down, let us see how both these phones perform in artificial and lower lighting situations. Both of them do a good job and don't let the brighter parts of the lights to be overexposed in any of these images. iPhone is capturing true to life and much pleasing looking colors, whereas the colors from the Pixel 3 look a bit muted in comparison. Now both the phones took a very different approach with this image. XS Max tried and exposed for the entire scene while maintaining good looking colors, but as a result, it also managed to bring in much more noise in this area. While the Pixel just decided to expose for the lights and made all other areas very dark, which also kept the noise level down. I actually like both these images, as both of them have their advantages and disadvantages. You should not be fooled by these images into thinking that the iPhone XS Max is as good as the Pixel 3 in lower lighting situations. Google has given the Pixel 3 a superpower in form of night sight mode, which quite literally lets it see in extreme lower lighting situations. You won't be able to see the actual power of the night sight mode in situations like these, where you have plenty of ambient light. But as you move to even darker situations, you can see the night sight mode on the Pixel 3 being able to capture much more light. It comes to a point where the Pixel can pull out so much information from a scene where you can barely see anything with your naked eyes. And in these cases, iPhone stands no chance against the Pixel 3. An argument can be made that you can download a third-party camera app on the iPhone, lower the shutter speed manually and get similar kind of results, but the fact that Pixel will allow you to do this with the native camera app without having to deal with any of the manual settings is just amazing. That brings us to the front-facing cameras. Both phones capture a lot of details, but the images from the Pixel 3 are a bit sharper. Primary lens on the Pixel 3 is already wider than the iPhone's selfie camera, and on top of that, it gets another wide camera which will let you take ultra-wide selfies like this. This secondary camera will let you capture so much more of the scene, and you can even use it while taking portrait selfies. Speaking of portrait selfies, both the phones are good at detecting the edges and separating the subject from the background. Pixel takes a more masking-like approach, so the hair and ears in its portrait shots are kept in focus, but the iPhone uses plane of focus technique to decide which part of the face should be in focus, which is also how actual DSLR cameras do it. Sometimes, iPhone does well to keep faces in focus even if you have multiple people in the shot, while in others, it will only keep the faces closest to the camera in focus and blurs the other ones. Here's a video from the front-facing camera of the iPhone XS Max and the Pixel 3. You can see how both these phones are handling the overall stabilization when I'm walking around with them, colors of the scene, and exposure. The difference is subtle, but the iPhone is better at keeping the video stable from the front-facing camera. Here I have both the cameras on a rig while I was taking a few shots. It was very windy, so the phones were shaking a bit, and you can see that shake in the video from the Pixel 3, while the video from the iPhone is completely stable. Here are 4K 30fps video samples from these phones. Both phones have optical image stabilization, so the videos are very stable. iPhone is much better at handling the changes in exposure, and it also shows overall better colors. All of the videos from iPhone are of higher bitrate, and for some reason they are a lot smoother and pleasing to look at. On the iPhone XS Max, you can take 1080p videos at 240 frames per second, but the Pixel can only do 120 frames per second while shooting at 1080p resolution. If you want to take 240 frames per second video, resolution drops down to 720p on the Pixel 3. When it comes to video capture, iPhone is better than the Pixel 3 at any resolution. So after looking at over 70 image and video samples, it is still difficult to choose a clear winner. There are certain areas where both are neck to neck, some areas where iPhone is better, and some areas like very low light where the Pixel 3 leaves iPhone way behind. To remind you again, these are two of the best cameras in the industry, so one of them is not drastically better than the other. So instead of which one is better, you will have to decide which one is right for you. If you want your images to look good right out of the camera, or if you shoot lot of low light images and you think night sight is something you will be using very often, then Pixel 3 is the one for you. But if you like to have better dynamic range in your images, better looking colors, and if you shoot a lot of videos, then iPhone XS or XS Max should be your choice. So it all comes down to your needs and personal preference. I know some of you prefer iPhones and many of you like to go with Pixel, and for some reason you guys like to show it in the comment section by telling me how much you hate the other one. But try and understand that both of them are excellent at what they do, and one of them doesn't become bad just because you prefer the other one. That being said, I'm always interested in hearing your thoughts and knowing which one of these two phones will you choose and why. But also remember to be civil and respectful of others in the comment section. Again, a huge shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video and supporting our channel. To know more about them and to check out thousands of classes that they offer, make sure to click on the link in the description section. That is it for this video, guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.